Well, greetings everyone. We're out here with Kenny Schlatter getting ready for the harvest season just outside of Woodburn, Indiana. And what he's been kind enough to do is work with us on 4 rows of Kernel Keeper right in the center of his head. That way he can monitor that from the cabinet, and we'll also take you through a journey through the season. In season, looking at kernel counts, things of that nature, and then wrapping up at the end of the season, how the wear did, feedback from Kenny, things of that nature. So I'll walk you through the system a little bit as we go through the head. Kernel Keeper is comprised of really 3 main components, is the cushion, the capture, and the collect. And so we begin with the cushion portion. And so you see these UHMW rails here that have pockets on the inside of them to absorb the impact of the ear against the deck plate. And then the capture portion comes in because it creates this trough as you go along, and then collect the brushes on each of these fingers, sweep it back into the head. So as you think of this, is UHMW as soft as a pillow? No, but this is a very harsh environment in which this product needs to live. And so if you compare UHMW with the cushions that are machined in the back against a hard steel plate, that is a significant difference in the energy transfer. So we can keep kernels on, and also the reality of knowing the environment that this is operating in, that we're going to have to lose kernels regardless. That's where we came in with the capture and the collect. And so it comes together where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So when you add these systems together, the 3 of those together, it becomes a much stronger product. Also, we outfitted him with the Kernel Keeper Ready deck plates. Something that's unique about those is that they have weld nuts on the bottom side of the plate, so the rails themselves install extremely easy. And then we have this eyebrow welded on the front of the deck plate. We found some conditions with heavy grass, things of that nature, just the outside row that might escape the grass control, things of that nature for your herbicide. That keeps the grass from coming up and lifting this front nose. Now, we've done all kinds of different testing on that over the last 3 years, had a really great response to that system. So we're very excited about this opportunity with Kenny and the acres that he's going to cover this fall, especially with the timing of the market, things of that nature. We're trying to keep every single kernel we can. So we'll talk a little bit about the rail here so you can see the underside. So as you zoom in and get that close, you can see the pockets that are machined into these rails, and then they restrain, or ooh, how about that? It's from picking up all the bottles that fell off the table 5 years ago. Yeah, right. So we just insert those in the middle like that. And what that does is then creates a little bit of a cushion on the underside and then through the rail, and then continues to soften the blow of the ear against the deck plate. Some just quick back of the envelope calculations is that an ear hits this deck plate about 14 times a second when you're shelling corn through the field at average populations and travel speeds. Then we add the brush that goes in the back, as you can see, just like that, to each of the fingers. And that then sweeps it up into the back of the head and back into the machine then.
So what's the purpose behind the brush being behind the
Great question. And in this model of corn head, we put that behind there to give it a little more protection. And so you can see how the shape of this lug allows us to do that. Other corn heads like the C-Series or the Romax, they have a more of a swept design where we had to put the brush on the front side. Same functionality. As you can see, some questions that we've had, well, hey, this brush is riding up on the side of the deck plate or on the rail there. That is mainly because of the adjustment, and we can look at that and center that. If you look at the eyebrow there, it's one thing that we've found in testing that we recommend a slight change, but to center that rail really over the top of your stalk roll. Staring at corn heads for hours on end, we've noticed, you can see if you look closely enough that the stalk will come in and take a bit of a cant and then come down. So just slight changes like that, but you're still getting, as you can see in there, you're still getting that collect function to get that into the back of your head. The other nice thing that we've noticed that we didn't really plan on is that the chain then rides up off of the deck plate and creates a different wear pattern, a positive wear pattern on the chain itself. So will it extend the life? We're not actually sure yet. We haven't done any testing there, but it definitely won't speed up the wear on the chain for any reason.